make sure the stream is actually running. So we know how much YouTube loves me. How you guys doing? Oh, it's not showing up. That's interesting. It says I'm live, but no notifications. Isn't that special? There we go. Just want to test the sound, make sure everything's working. Okay, cool. I think we're running. So, I figured I'd give you guys a follow-up. Sorry, first off, I have to apologize to everybody. I am so far behind on answering emails and doing stuff. I just got hammered by life. September is all the renewals for things, and the dog, he's walking again without carrying him 7, 8 times a day to go pee, and cleaning up the messes, and then dealing with my own stuff. It's been a lot, guys. So I apologize to anybody I haven't responded to. I have so much to catch up on. But yeah, so guys who watched the last stream, the War Angel stream, some of the points that I went over, I want to explain to you how my weird readings happen. So after I did that stream, the very next day, did anybody notice the news? Right? Jill Biden got the coof immediately after. Okay, then the same thing next day, Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, all of a sudden decided he's going to change his stance on the migrants, which I also talked about. Okay. Then you have the New Mexico governor trying to pass some unconstitutional weird mandates to take away innocent people's right to defend themselves. Something also I spoke about. So, just go watch that last stream and check the news cycle for the day after, okay? And today's the 11th, I said around the 15th to 23rd, all right? Whatever the next full moon, within 3 days after that, there'll be a big thing, okay? And so it's just some weird stuff, weird times, guys, and things can go many different directions depending on the level of consciousness of the average person, okay? And it's not looking great, but it's not looking terrible. However, I will say this, the Orange Man will be the last American president. Whether you consider his last term, and the country gets altered from here out, or if he gets another term, in which case the country will be altered, but he will be the last actual president of the country. That's what I'm also going to say, for whatever reasons. For good or bad, because this can go either way, guys. We're still at a very interesting time where the timeline can go in either direction. It's the best way I can describe it. In North Carolina, the way that they handle things here, right? The people are very reserved. You would think that all the left side and the liberal people, they would be like the ones that are really in power, right? Because they have the biggest voice, they control the media, right? And they have control of the corporate cities. But I can tell you, because I was in the back end, listening to the chatter between the militias and the police and, local people, and then seeing how they respond to stuff, there is way more people who are moderate or completely anti everything that's being pushed on us than it appears, So this can go either way really quickly. However, if it goes left, and it's sad because I have a lot of friends who've been, lost to ideologies of both extremes. What the left side is pushing, right, is delusion, okay? And if they get what they want, okay, they're going to get their ass kicked first. Look, just a Commonwealth level, their lives suck, okay? You live in these corporate bullshit hole parasite cities. We talked about this last time. You're basically living in a human factory farm, okay? Your life is basically meaningless. You're a dead slave, okay? And I understand that's what they're trying to fight against with their weird communist utopia, but the thing that they chose to save the day is going to lead to their own destruction, no matter how you cut it. Do you understand? No matter how they cut it. And there's people who are brainwashed. There's people who are just stupid. There's people who are demonically possessed. Okay, you're dealing with a clusterfuck of all of the above. You know, people who they don't realize they're the bad guy. And this has happened historically over and over and over again. You know, it doesn't make a difference what country you go to. It's always the same chain of events. You know, like the useful idiots, and then the useful idiots get themselves wiped out. So, you know, that's it. But I would definitely tell you guys who don't pay attention to the news, who watched that last stream, just go check. Literally the next day, everything I said that was going to happen is in the news the next day. And I've always said this way, you know, because I keep my life separate. I use different names, I use different accounts, with, you know, different things. Even for this name I use, I always kept my businesses and things I do separate. So the martial arts people didn't know I had a gaming channel, or have my Facebook where I did my political live stuff, and I also talked about spirituality and did all these predictions and stuff. I never let people see the whole picture. You understand? Which is why a lot of these idiots who come to troll and these people, they have no idea who they're talking to, right? They just make assumptions. They don't know where I've been, they know my experience, they know where I work, which is why they always want to be stupid. And I tell them, the harder you try to debunk me, the more real I'm going to become. Okay? Like, all you're going to do is expose the reality that I've been really humble. I've been really hiding a lot of, like, I've told you guys so little, you know? And it's kind of funny. But the moral of the story is, you know, the shit show's coming. You got to get ready. You have to get your mind right. And you have to start to understand that this is a spiritual war first. It's always been a spiritual war, okay? It doesn't matter if you believe in God or not. The people and the things that run this place, they believe in evil, okay? And you have to get this into your little heads. They believe in evil. The way that you look at your hand, like you know your hand is real, they believe it, okay? There's no logical explanation for how the system runs itself other than demonic possession. And like I said, spirituality can be used as metaphor for psychology. So if you look at a demon or a daemon in computer science, a daemon tool, it's just a program that's running in the background without a user's control input, you know? So you have demons, everyone, all of us who thinks it has an internal dialogue has demons running, okay? That's why you love that little analogy of the angel and the demon in shoulder. So most people are NPCs, most people are running these demonic impulse programs, you know, and they don't realize that they're the bad guys, you know what I mean? Because all the programs that are surrounding their actions support, and the checksum is basically saying that they're the good people, you know? Like, we're just, for the most part, we're just biological AI, right? And until you get your observer consciousness to be aligned and get the ego to attune to that, you're an NPC. You know, you're running on impulse. You're not thinking. You're never aware. You're never actually here. So most of the problem with the slavery comes in the mind section, where you spend 13 years in the forced indoctrination camp staring at a fucking board with somebody like, you know, drill instructor yelling at you to fucking, you know, answer questions on a test like a robot. Why do they do that to us? You know? And the same people that own the factory farms, own the schools, own the prisons, okay? And they're all designed the same way. If you go to a New York City public school, it is not much different than a prison, okay? It's kiddie prison, all right? And the stuff that they teach you, most of it is ridiculous. You know, when you look at modern science, especially things regarding like history and space, if you stop and listen to it. This is why they hate the whole pizza Earth thing and they try to get rid of it so much. Because when you stop and listen to yourself say the ridiculous explanations and the just ridiculousness of the theories that they're presenting as modern science, and then everyone stands on it as if like, you know, they've made some grounding achievement by parroting and repeating information that can never be proven. It's impossible to prove. That's because it's ridiculous. It makes no damn sense. We're in like a serious issue. How are you going to wake people up to, you know, to the issues of the world and and spirituality when they're afraid to even question what they've been indoctrinated with, and that's what it is, right? And you want to look up cult deprogramming and exit counseling. Okay, I studied this for a very long time, and I can tell you it's extremely difficult, to unfuck someone's brain. So, I know that I got a lot of various viewers from all over the place, and some of you still believe in all the hype on the TV, and like as soon as they tell you that the Cruz is coming back another week, you're gonna be the first ones to triple mask, 50 fucking jabs in your car by yourself in a bubble, okay? Like, you gotta get some balls in you, all right? You gotta get some balls in you, and stand up for yourself. And again, I always say this, like, violence is always the last answer because it's only a short-term solution for an immediate threat. It doesn't end anything. You gotta go straight to the lawfare. If you people who are all about rah 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 and your stupid signs, you're an agent of the Matrix. Okay? Like if you're gonna sit there protesting, it is the stupidest thing in the world to sit there and protest. Like that's what children do. Alright, so you yell at your mommy when you don't want to go to bed too early. Okay? So that's not gonna work, guys. Okay? Building communities again, getting people to start thinking for themselves, questioning everything, because otherwise you're slaves, okay? And half the world right now is in slavery. And you would think that, people in third world countries have it so bad, but they're blessed in a sense. Okay? The Western culture is legitimately a factory farm soul prison. When you look at what you're living in, you're a slave. All of us are slaves, okay? And they're going to try to put the noose down. And now I'm not going to talk about all the, conspiracy theory stuff because, first of all, if you don't know by now and you're that lazy, I don't know what to tell you. If you don't know all the things, all the dates, and all the mainstream stuff by now, you're you're in for a rude awakening, guys. But my prediction when the first jab came out was I said that the next waves will target the people who took the jabs. All right, you have a 40% higher likelihood of getting something, and the 22, I think it was, percent chance of deleting if you took that. So speak to your doctors, do what you got to do, But when you look at the system and the designing of the system, that medical for profit, just the PCR tests alone, we're running $50 a pop. When I did the calculation on my live stream, we're talking about trillions of dollars in the first wave of testing. Okay, like the amount of money that's been made, because this is all it is. We're human resources, right? We're human resource department. We're livestock, okay? And the people that run this world decided that you could either live in abundance or scarcity, okay? This world is meant to recycle everything and be permanently abundant. No one should ever be hungry here, ever, okay? Like literally fruit will grow indefinitely. In ancient times, there was actually certain places where when you have a farm, you're supposed to leave some parts of the trim of the farm, like the fruit trees, hanging over the pathway so that passerbys can take it. The world is mismanaged on purpose. It's mismanaged because these people are parasites. They're demons. Okay? The entire system for generation has been to harvest the energy efforts of a large group so that a smaller group can live like demigods on the earth, right? Now, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. It doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. So why do you trust a system that for thousands of years has been designed to oppress, enslave, and torture and torment you? It doesn't make sense. Why are you all sitting here trusting the freaking black magic box? Just a scrying mirror. Look what that is. If you look at electrical diagrams, a lot of them are sigils for demons. Okay? So, and not saying not all demons are bad. Okay? Because again, what we explained is that they're just programs that run on their own, elemental thought forms. Whether you believe it's a spirit body or if you believe it's just a thought in people's minds, okay? It is what it is. But in the next wave of the cycle of life that's coming, you guys gotta practice your spiritual discernment. And if you watch that last stream and then you just look at the next day news cycle, if I haven't proven to you, by putting another freaking target in my head, right, that this stuff is very real and you need to wake the hell up, I don't know what to do with you guys. Okay? Like, trust me when I tell you, the last thing I want to be doing right now is this. Like I've done a great deal of effort to hide most of my life and most of the things that, because I wanted to retire. I saved a lot of people, I did a lot of things, I did my tours, okay? I've done a lot, and I've, sacrificed a lot in my life and been under attack for decades because of the work that I was doing as an AI and all this other stuff. So, I don't want to be here talking about stuff that makes me look like Madame Cleo, because I already have enough haters, okay? It's like, but they should be terrified also. But, I'm concerned because I know there's a lot of you people that are in this community that practice various spirituality, but you do it half-hearted, and of course, the stream is telling me everything's broken, as always, because I start talking about stuff I don't always talk about. That's okay. So, I worry about you guys because, you don't, look, there's people in this community who still don't believe that the Fa-Jing stuff is real, which is literally just a physics trick. It's an elastic collision, okay? It's a magic trick. Now, I'm not saying that chi isn't real. What I'm saying is there's stuff that's like science that I've explained in detail, that I've given hours of free lessons on, and they'll still say it's fake. So when I come talking about like the real woo, like the real stuff, I'm like, oh boy, it's gonna be fun. I mean, I've already been attacked and put on government lists and freaking corporate lists and fucking troll forums, and I've been under attack most of my life. So when I tell you guys, this is the last thing that I want to be doing with my time, I promise you that. I promise you. This is the last thing, but it's very real, and you guys gotta catch up to reality. I can't hide much longer. I'm being called to do a lot of things. I'm gonna wind up with my face splattered in random places. God only knows what people have planned for me, for good and bad, because I have various groups that have plans for my existence that I have no control over at this point. And you'll find out in a couple of weeks how that goes. So it's a lot, and I can't tell you guys certain things. One, because I just, I'm not allowed to. Two, because it will put me in a lot of danger. And three, because you'll be terrified, and it's just a lot. But the most important thing is that, if I wanted to give you enough that you're prepared so you don't freak out for whatever's coming, and you have a little bit of an update of it, so that when you see it, you start to question everything and be like, okay, this is bullshit. This is like some reptilian fucking brainwash thing. Okay, don't be a robot. Like the people in Hawaii, the only ones that lived are the ones who defied orders. People are stupid, and look, the Stanford prison experiment, look that up. Milgram experiment, look that up. Most people are NPCs, they're agents of the Matrix, they're running programs. Most cops, they're trained to do what they do, they have collective consciousness, and they just do what they're supposed to do, they're running a play, right? So when they get in a situation like that, well, I'm going to go, under pressure, resort to training, like an AI machine, right? Those of us who are awake understand this, so we program the machine how we want it to work, how we want it to operate. What's up, man? So these guys, they're not that self-aware. You can't become a cop with an IQ of 130. Okay, they won't let you. Trust me, I know. Okay, you're too smart. Okay, And I'm not saying that cops are stupid. I'm saying that they take people when they're young in the military where they're impressionable, trainable. You know, they're locked in by the pay grade because, you know, you're not making that much money, you have stuck at the job, and you have all these things. So it creates a compliant machine person, right? For good or bad. So when these things happen, they're just following orders and compartmentalization. They don't know the other side. They don't know how many people they're going to kill. All right? The cops are just following orders in Maui. They probably weren't part of some conspiracy. You know, it doesn't take a lot of people to manipulate a group. You give me 3 fucking guys, give me 3 guys in a month to train them, and you do not want to see what I can do. You know, it'd be if I was one of the bad guys, it'd be really bad. It'd be really bad, okay? Like, you don't need a lot, okay, to manipulate massive people. I used to do security on parties, me and 2 guys, like, you know, 100, 200 people. And, you know, it sounds crazy, you know, but like, you can predict most things and you can handle certain things, you know, like, just by displaying certain, positioning certain things and, you know, and making things appear a certain way and basically hurting people. Okay? So you don't need a lot to manipulate people. Just like changing the orientation of chairs will change the entire flow of an event. Okay? Like, you'd be really surprised how easy it is to control groups of people within a group. In fact, groups of people, their combined IQ is like a fucking 6 or 8-year-old, which is why you have so many flash events where, you know, it's easy to start mobs and people acting retarded. Okay? Because, you know, socially, like, people in groups, their IQ drops to one, like, giant infant. So these are things to think about as the next, you know, idiots start pushing their agendas. Now, what I was trying to say about the whole North Carolina thing, they just, you know, quietly passed like an anti-trans law. The reason I brought that up is the resistance to the resistance is quiet and it won't be televised, okay? And you'd be really surprised how much of how much actions are being taken, how much people are prepared to do work. Okay? So I know a lot of you guys are sitting there like, you know, we're all separated and isolated because social media has been geared to disconnect people who are middle and right and combine people who are on the left. Okay, so, you know, the function of social media is primary social engineering form. You know, they divided people using AI, they predict, you know, what political party you're in, you know, your tax bracket, who you hang out with. Most people don't even recognize that there's silent connections between all devices, smart TVs, you know, phones, computers, where they know what devices you're in proximity to as you pass them by. All right, like, the system is so intricate, and you know, even Facebook got sued because they were testing manipulation about 10 years ago. They were manipulating the algorithms to cause depression and see if they can cause depression in people, and they were getting people to kill themselves. Okay, I was part of these experiments. I can tell you because I was watching it happen. Okay, and you know, you'd be really surprised how evil this system is and how intricate and how well designed it is. But the moral of the story is trust nothing, realize that all of this stuff is an illusion, even though it's persistent, it's an illusion. And there is definitely things that are out there, guys, you know, and I've done enough to prove, you know, it's like I've done by exposing the woo magic tricks. You know, I talk a little bit about spiritual, but now I'm really exposing the woo, okay? And I'm telling you the real story, you know? In the last stream I explained it. There's several hundred people who watch my predictions. People come to me for readings. I have a tarot channel that I started because people forced me to, that I haven't kept up with. You know, I've been doing this a long time, all right? I just don't talk about it because, again, it's not the venue here, okay? So I tried to keep everything compartmentalized for many years. If you watch that last stream, and then you look at the news cycle, and you still don't believe it, go put your mask on, go flush your head down the fucking toilet, guys. Okay? I can't help you. No one can help you. Okay? If you still don't believe that there's a spiritual aspect to this reality, with all these experiences that you've had, all the things you've seen people like me do, right? I don't want to tell you. But again, I'm going to say this, the people that run this place are evil, okay? Evil is what undoes life, okay? And the devil is what, fucks with people who live. So, you look at the words, flip them around. So, you gotta get this in your head. The things that run this world hate you, okay? You are a factory farm commodity. Even your birth certificate has a value on the stock market, okay? You're being used as collateral for debt. The whole system, everything about it has been designed by demon-worshipping psychos, okay? Who are likely in connection with interdimensional entities that don't like any of us either, okay? So, you gotta trust nothing, not even what you see outside, okay? If they're telling you you're on a spinning fucking rock in the middle of nowhere, whatever they're telling you, automatically assume it's the opposite until you can prove it with your own hands. Alright, I know that the Illuminati Bukaki, they were looking to get rid of me anyway. My channels are already restricted, so it doesn't make a difference at this point. So I can get away with saying certain things, because that's another part of the game, is that they have to tell you to avoid karma. It's like part of their rule set, is that if they tell you what they're going to do to you, and you agree to it, even if it's a bad choice, then they don't have any karma. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing this, because I'm called, many times to speak on these type of things. And if I tell you and you didn't believe me, my karma is clear. I did my job. So when I put my life at risk, okay, and through my entire career and everything I had on the line by exposing what was coming, and then doing a live stream where I went into great detail explaining body language analysis, neurolinguistic programming, remote viewing. We did, I have some of the guys on my team still have the old streams, and we may be putting that up on one of the other alternative platforms, because there's no way they'll let me have it here. Okay, the things that I explain. Look, I sent police and doctors behind the news teams on my live stream to the hospitals. Alright? That's how much of a badass I am, okay? Like, when I look back on the stuff I was doing, I wasn't really thinking at the time. But, you would be really surprised of what I accomplished in my life, and how many systems I've tried to cripple. Just why I was saying, YouTube, please don't make me, please don't make me do it. Because I will make it my life's mission. I become obsessive compulsive. I don't want the fight, I'm so tired. But I have to start telling my story here so that you guys get it, and that you don't slip into stupidity, because when you realize and you recognize how this matrix demiurge operates, who runs it, and what their goal is, you don't get hurt by the small stuff anymore. I mean, it still hurts you and it still bothers you, but you don't panic, because it's like, well, I'm already fucked anyway. You accept and embrace the suck, and then from there, when because I was talking to my friend about this, like, you gotta. Some people will say, like, these new agers, when somebody comes and like puts roadblocks in your life and like makes your life difficult and tries to ruin your stuff, you shouldn't blame them. You should take accountability, and you should not let it, because you're gonna manifest it. Like, get this bullshit out of my face. This is more new age, new world order crap to freaking keep you a slave. You have to point the finger and blame. And I know there's a lot of Christians that watch my channel, so let me clarify some of the Jesus teachings for you. When it says, "Thou shalt not judge lest ye be judged," it means you have to be righteous and withstand judgment. You have to have a clean slate, a clean record, before you go pointing the finger at somebody. You have to be righteous before you judge someone. It does not mean you shouldn't judge people. Okay? Because in the same book it says, stand not in the works of darkness, but rebuke them. So the problem is a low IQ slave mentality with you people. Okay? Like, you believe bullshit, you don't check it, you don't do your own work, you don't do your own research, and you want everything to be handed to you. I'm sorry to tell you, like, in your own books, they tell you narrow is the gate, right? You have to save yourself. You have to do the personal work. Faith without works is useless. It's fucking fruitless bullshit, right? You know, it's like you don't talk about it, you do it. And this is why people don't understand me. I'm an alien to you people, because you cannot comprehend the type of life I've lived and the level of honor and virtue I've lived by. You know, and the rule set I live by. Because some of the things that I think is good, you think is bad. Something I think is bad, you think is good. It's a completely different universe. But you got to start judging people, and you have to stop being so lenient, and you have to point the finger. Okay? No, you did this to me. That way you can actually deal in based reality, and then you can fix it. If you're sitting there taking responsibility for other people fucking you over and ruining your life, or if you're sitting there trying to rationalize it, no, you're not dealing in reality. So the same things that keep happening to you. It's going to keep happening to you. I mean, and you got to be honest. Look, you see the freaking people who are liberals, and they're like, especially like minorities, and talking about like the party switch and all. Motherfucker, when did the party switch? After they popped MLK, after they popped Martin Luther King? When did the party switch? When did this happen? Because as far as I remember, the Democrats were funded by the KKK, they were the party of slavery, the Republicans were literally started so that black people could have a vote. Okay? The first president was a black guy, okay? Which is arguable but fact, right? So, you know, there was black freemen who owned slaves, a lot of them. You know, the entire picture is inside out and backwards, and they don't bother to check. Oh, this is what everybody thinks, so it must be real. Bah, 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 bah. Do you understand me now? Like, that's fucking basically what we're dealing with, you know? And if you're still, look, I am not a fan of any of these parties, okay? I think it's ridiculous, the whole system is corrupt, but if we're gonna step outside of that and just look on basic foundational principle, you are an idiot if you're still voting Democrat. You're an idiot. They had 100 years taking over the corporate cities. 100 years, and they fucked it up 100% of the time. Okay? At what point in history have the Democrats done anything correct that's good for humanity? Like, what did they do? What did they do? I'll wait. I'll wait. Okay? It's life has gotten progressively worse every single time. And what did the people that, you know, supposedly voted for the fucking this potato in office, what was their reasoning? Oh, he's not Donald Trump. He's not Donald Trump. I mean, and why did they not like Donald Trump? Not because of his policies. Look, he's mean. He's racist. And he wasn't racist before when he was hanging out with all you black people giving you money. You're only racist now because the TV people told you to be racist. Come on, man. You know, like, it's gonna. It starts with little bits of people, and you know, I hope these rants make you guys feel better about life. But the main important thing I'm going to keep reiterating is that there are gods and deities in this world. There are demons in this world. Okay? They are very real things. You know, and the whole point of, like, you know, people saying that, oh, you can't see the chi and you can't see the energy. That's not true. You can't because you fucked up your body. You can't because you did not train. You can't because you suck at life. Okay? And part of that's not your fault. Part of it's because you've been bred to be a slave creature. Okay, you eat their freaking factory farmed, genetically modified, processed, all this stuff. You don't have enough sunlight. You watch the propaganda. The neurons are being fried. You're all messed up. But there's a lot of people who can see energy. You can see it right on the camera now. They can look at me and see the energy around, right? Just because you can't doesn't mean it's not possible. Some people can't see color. Like, what's it called? Trichromatic. Like, my ability to see color is more than normal people. I forgot the name of it. Like, some people can't see color at all. Some people, you'll see this green top and they'll see this red and they see this green. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist just because you can't do it. People say Fa Jing isn't real, right? And then I do it, and then oh, it's not real, but I'm doing it. I'm going to explain to you how you can do it. It's not real. So, part of the reason why, I also don't think spirituality is something that you share with people. It's something that you practice in secret. You practice in small communities and you do it in secret. You know what I mean? Because I think that the whole thing of Aquarius, Age of Aquarius, is going to be self-empowering people so that you have a strong collective. And it's a switch where this type of spirituality is more accepted, whereas in the other age, I would not be able to talk about this freely. Okay? 23 years ago, when I became vegan, vegetarian, whatever you want to call it, it was unheard of. I knew like one other vegan, okay? In New York City, I knew one other person. I knew hundreds of people. I didn't know anyone, okay? Like no one. There was no restaurant. There was probably like 3, like I didn't go to. I didn't get to a vegetarian restaurant until Red Bamboo, a vegetarian Soul Zen. That was the place. And then the vegetarian dim sum house, obviously I would go there. That was the one place I went to in the 90s. I think it was the 90s it was open. I think it was 97 or something. But I think that's correct. I could be wrong. The point is that it didn't exist, guys. And I would not even tell people I was vegetarian. And once they found out, like if I'd be, we go to a restaurant and I would order whatever, and people are like, oh, why do you get that? I'm like, I don't eat meat. And the next 45 minutes is a discussion about me not eating meat, attacking me for not eating meat. People find out, like, I could anything, that like I was Buddhist, or it's another hour, a whole thing. You couldn't talk about this kind of stuff. And now we gotta talk about it fast, okay? You guys need a crash course in spirituality really fucking quick, because if you need to understand that everything you think is real is likely fucking wrong, okay? Like the Matrix, some things that are rules, some rules can be broken, okay? And that's I'm really hoping for that. A lot of you guys, when you start to find out things about me that you didn't know, the shock of that, of like, oh, I didn't expect that, and then you find out this, will be enough to give you enough cognitive dissonance so you can start thinking about the world differently as quickly as possible, so that when they try the next bullshit, you're not so quick to jump on it, and you can protect yourself and your families. Okay? And that's basically it, Another note, so today's the anniversary of 9/11, and I have a very strange way of having people die on the holidays. For me, my grandma died on my birthday, my master died on 9/11, okay? So I got the call like 4:30 in the morning that he was going to go, so I rode my motorcycle. I got to the house right as he went, and then I stayed with him for a few hours, and I carried him into the van. So I was the one who put his body into the corner van. I wouldn't let them carry him. So that was on today, about 4 or 5 years ago. What was it? 5 years ago. So now at that time, I had made the New York prediction and the whole thing. And I was living next to a nun who, she broke her leg and her hip. She had a fall on Flatbush Avenue. So I was, in the midst of working as a bodyguard, working on my thing, taking care of my ex who was in the freaking hospital because she got abducted in the mental hospital. My teacher's dying, my father's having problems, and everyone's like messed up. I'm every day going to this nun's house to redo her splint and her bandages. And she was worried I was telling her I'm leaving. And I was supposed to leave in June, and she was like, "Yo, I can't leave." So I said, "I'm gonna stay until everything's done." And I wound up leaving the night to come down south. I left exactly a year to the day on 9/11 during a blood moon, and that's like a whole part of the religious thing. Like we went to the anniversary of the death to, but I left on the night, and when I drove down, there's this moon. I mean, huge blood moon. And I think I don't know which highway it is coming south, 80-something, 87, right? Is that the one that is like parallel to 95? And I'm on this highway, and the divider, the metal divider, the moon is on the center of this divider, blood red, the entire time I'm coming down here, 9-hour drive, okay? So it was a really interesting thing. So just wanted to, give a shout out to the master for funding my awesomeness throughout the years and giving all the degenerate kids a way out of the ghetto. But and then my 9/11 story, going back 2001. So 9/10, I'm on the phone. So I was in this hacking group I was leading. It was 150 members. And my band at the time, we were on the cover of Terrorizing Magazine and a CD cover. And, we're doing really well. We're top 10 pt2.com for 17 weeks, the whole album, right? We're on the radio in 26 countries. I have fans and students in India and shit. We were doing really well. And so the night before 9/11, I met this guy on one of the forums who, we just had a lot in common. And he liked the band, so we started chatting, and we became friends. Next thing I know, he was the owner, the original owner of Candlelight Records. I don't remember exactly what the story was because it's 23 years ago when it was. So I'm on the phone with the guy, all right, of one of the biggest black metal record labels in the world, and we're about to sign a deal. Okay, I'm on the phone with the guy for 8 hours, chilling, and they loved us. They loved the whole gimmick. We have a female singer, we have a fucking whole orchestral thing. No one was doing this kind of stuff, at the time. So it was a big thing. And we get off the phone and this deal is done. All right, we all the hard work, all the freaking abuse, all the suckering. It was the moment we waited for. We're right there. So me and my drummer, we're living together in one room, okay? And we had a one-room studio we were sharing. And we had a bottle of absinthe. Now, I never drank absinthe, and that part on the straight edge, okay? Because I just, at that point, I was pretty straight edge. And I said, okay, we're going to celebrate. So we drank this absinthe, okay? It was real absinthe. At the time, it was illegal. We had, real absinthe. So we drink that, and all of this, I got this weird feeling. And it was I can just see this the only way to explain the energy is it's you can see mist around people in a sense, right? Some people see halos or auras. It was just this dense fog, thick in the room. I'm something's not right, bro. I don't know what's going on, but this isn't correct, I feel like something bad's about to happen. Well, I pass out. And I wake up to a phone call, an old cordless phone, ring, 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 loud as fuck. And it was one of my students, the karate students, who happened to be the keyboard in my band. Actually, the cop that's in the Universal Body Cam video, he's the one. I get this call, and I'm like, yo, what's up? And he goes, yo, D, get up! Yo, the Hodges invaded, bro! Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about, bro? It's 8 in the morning. Are you talking about invasions and shit, man? What are you talking about? Dude, they just blew up the Trade Center. They're coming after us. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? He goes, look out the window. So I look out my back window, and I see, snowflakes. Now, I'm 12 miles away at the time, okay? I'm 12 miles away. I see snowflakes in my backyard. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Wait, why is the snow brown? And I go outside, and there's burning paper flying all over my neighborhood. I go to the corner where I can see the trace, and there's like, I mean, there's no trace. There's smoke everywhere. What the fuck was going on? So I put out the bat signal, and I was teaching at a karate school in Chiefs Bay at the time, and we're thinking the world ended. So I had all of like the degenerates that I know from like the music studios and the gang and shit. And I gathered a good 30 to 50 people, opened the weapons closet, like we were ready to go. Like, we didn't know what was going on. But let me tell you, like, you know, we was ready to throw down. You know, like you realize how fast. But so that was an interesting day, you know, and then getting to go help clean that for a little bit was interesting, because I can tell you for certain, it's all bullshit. Now, I worked at the Pentagon for a short time, okay, a short time, you know, and if you know where like Alexandria, Virginia is, and you're taking this highway that goes down towards DC, and you see the Pentagon, right? You're on this highway that's elevated, and you're looking, there's this long grassy area, and you know, whatever, and there's a building. It's fall, like several football fields fall, okay? There is no way what they said happened. Okay? I'm just gonna say that much. And I can tell you that guy that was training, who went into certain, said that they were telling people that, oh, that's not what happened, we're going to war. Okay? You know? So, the point being is to give you guys enough information to make you question your reality and what you believe is real and how things actually work. That's all I'm trying to do here. That's all I hope I get out of this. And I hope you guys, you know, feel a little better, because, you know, there's going to be good things, but, you know, in order to be good things, there have to be bad things. And, you know, we have to pray that the things that run this place, they make a mistake and start getting infected themselves. Okay? You know, I once did a little prayer ceremony on my gaming stream just to see how things would operate, and the next day David Rockefeller died. You know, which is why I don't like to play with these things very often. You know, and I don't believe in using any of this kind of woo stuff to manipulate people's free will to get material things. You know, so I don't do that. But, you know, I can just say that there's a lot of working parts in this universe that are very strange, and karma is a very strange thing, you know. And what I've noticed in life is that the bigger the bill, the longer it takes for it to come in the mail. Like, you know, like the God, whatever you want to call it, they let you rack up that bill. Oh yeah, motherfucker. Oh yeah. It's like you're at this fancy restaurant and like you're balling. And you think, oh yeah, you know, put everything on my tab. You know, you're at the shitty Salt Bay thing. You know, it's paying $2,000 for a fucking steak you get for $15. Okay. You know, just because some idiot threw something on it. You know, but they're gonna let them think they run the world. They have all these things. The cost that they're gonna pay after is immeasurable. And believe it or not, even these super wealthy people that that their lives look great, you have no idea what's going on in their heart and their mind. You know, you don't understand the conflicts. The same way, like you look at me and you see my what I allowed you guys to see for so long. You guys don't know shit about me. I don't not look like what I've been through. You know, you would not believe. Like most of you would break if you just dealt with one day of the life I've lived in the past 3 years, and it's been easy compared to what I've had to deal with. All right, you would off yourself. You would self-delete. You know, and you know, you would think that these people get away with stuff. No one gets away with anything in this world. Nobody. Nobody. Okay? Nobody. All these people in their ivory towers and all their like crazy. Look how scared they live. Look how they can't walk the streets, you know? These leaders can't go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, they live their comfortable little lives, but they live a life of misery. They're miserable people. They're never really truly happy. They don't experience love and gratitude in the way that a human's supposed to experience. Their lives are terrible, you know? Like me with like nearly nothing, you know, a crippled dog and a cat, I'm happier than people with billions of dollars. These are miserable fucking evil people. They're miserable. Their souls are disgusting and decrepit. So don't ever feel like, you know, they've gotten away with it. No. No. It may not, justice may not come in the form you want it. You know, you don't get to control it, but I promise you, no one gets away with anything. And you're going to start seeing it, you know? Like right now, look how hard they're fighting. They're fighting with the whole Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. I mean, guys, the system is so obviously corrupt. They're telling you in your face how corrupt it is, you know? And you're just not paying attention. Start paying attention, you know? And hopefully, you know, this next wave of stupid, whatever it may be, because there's going to be a lot of freaking things at once, guys. A lot of things at once. They're going to try to crash the system, push like cashless societies, you know, central bank digital currency. They already did a soft launch with the White House, which is why I predicted XRP long ago was a big deal, because they didn't need a way to, they didn't need a system to transact different coins across networks. Okay, so that's why I said the XRP thing would be a big deal. You know, but between them crashing the markets and, you know, trying to get us into cashless society to control everything, because they're using China as a test bed for the global technocracy. Okay? That is what they want to bring here. This is what all the idiots on the left and these like communist, Antifa thinking people do not want to understand. They don't want to hear that they're the stupid, fucking useless idiot. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to see the end result. They're too stupid to see it. Okay? These leaders in the middle, these politicians that are pushing it, these people don't care about the future. They just want this, you know, oh, it's my time to eat. Alright? These people, they don't care. Alright? They don't care. They don't understand and they don't care. Alright? And communism and Marxism, what basically does, it creates an elite class and a caste of like shit poor, destitute, factory farm, slave human resources. That's all it does create. All it ever creates is all it can create. That's all it does. Okay? And these idiots and their hopes and their wishes, and they're living in soft communism now. You have welfare, you have all these fucking services in the blue cities. You're living in soft communism. Look how shitty your life is. It literally, that's all that's gonna happen. Okay? It's not gonna God. It's so stupid. You know, so on the, you know, when you talk about the timeline and how they can split and diverge, on the best case scenario, if the good guys are taking over, it will take decades to correct the damage that's been done. These blue cities will suffer the consequences of the decisions of the age of Pisces for decades. New York is spiritually broken. It will take 3 generations to get New Yorkers to be back in a place where they can like function like humans and families. It's not going to happen. Okay, it's going to get worse and worse. People get more and more isolated. People get more and more distant. The social media narcissism, you know, like, is going to make people more insane and sick. People are going to be, you know, dying alone. And, you know, they're not trained as hermit monks. Okay? They're going to suffer. You know? It's going to be bad. There's nothing good. And those cities are literally parasites off of the moderate and red areas. Okay? Like, you look at these cities, the cities you live in are prisons. Do you realize that you can move to New York for a couple $100, but to leave costs thousands? Look at the prices of renting a U-Haul out as opposed to renting a U-Haul in. Okay? Look at like the prices of moving into New York versus moving out. It's on purpose. Look at the amount of tolls that are put there. You're not supposed to have to pay a toll to travel. Okay, right to travel. I should be able to travel anywhere uninterrupted. Okay, you pay taxes for the roads. This whole toll bridge shit, that's all there is basically to keep you in your grid. Okay, the gas prices, the reason why every time these like Democrats, when people get the gas prices go up, they're forced to go up, because it forces you to stay in your cell. They want to do 15-minute cities. Where do you think what is this? It's a prison. It's a prison farm, right? They want to have absolute control of everything you think, do, see, like how you wipe your ass. Okay? They want it all, and you're giving it to them. And the reason you're giving it to them is because you don't believe in anything spiritual. That's what it comes down to. Okay? And it doesn't matter, like, you know, and I say spiritual, I don't want Abraham people don't want to hear this, but when you look at the real prophets, okay? The real ones, they all say the same thing and they'll get killed for it. Okay? This game is intergenerational programming. Intergenerational programming. You don't understand it because you can't comprehend that families would create an outcome goal for generations ahead and would plot and plan for eons. Right? You wouldn't believe that. The same way we have martial art lineages, and you know, the same way they have political lineages, and they're really going through it. So if you didn't watch the first part of the stream, a lot of this isn't make sense to you. But I would go watch the first part of the stream, and remember what I said. Everything I said in that stream started happening the day after. Literally the day after. Okay? If I haven't given you enough evidence that you should start to make a personal connection with the spirits, okay? With, you know, go outside, touch some grass, pay attention to the animals, okay? Look at them in their forehead and listen. What are you reading from them? You don't need words to read and listen to people. Most language is non-verbal anyway. Most communication is non-verbal. You know, you walk in a room and you can tell a person's demeanor just by positioning their body language, right? Start with that. Start with the things you understand. Okay? Go beyond what you think is normal. Okay? Go seek it. Okay? Like a child would. Because, you know, if you don't start doing that, you're doomed. Your bloodlines are doomed. Your ancestors. Do you know how many thousands of ancestors you had to have that survived plagues, famine, death, destruction, just so that you can be sitting here watching this on your fancy little smartphone, whatever the hell you are, and you're going to dishonor their sacrifices so that you can exist by being a fucking slave and shutting your mind off to everything spiritual and natural. Because that's what the Western world is. The Western world is antithetical to everything natural and spiritual. Okay? Like literally everything, which is why I say to you, you can't trust anything that's being taught to you. And if you look man, even the math of the curvature of the earth makes no damn sense. And the issue is that there's people who are so brainwashed that they can't even question it. This is why science and medicine takes so long to be corrected. Because the I am conscious, I am a doctor, I am a lawyer, I am this. They literally, their beingness is on these thought constructs. And if you tell them that they're wrong, subconsciously they're like, I'm dying. Because if you change that idea, I have no identity of self. They don't see themselves as the observer, spiritual being having this physical experience. No, they believe that they're the words in their head, not the one listening. They believe it. They believe in the ego construct, which is why it's so easy for me to flip into different characters to you guys, and you don't understand it, because to me, they're all revolving around the core identity, which is just I am. I exist. I'm not a musician, I'm not a martial arts instructor, I am. I exist. And because I have this solid concept of my identity consciousness, I can't be corrupted. Okay? You cannot corrupt me, you can't move me, because I don't give a shit about is the earth flat or is it round in a sense. It's not going to change who I am. Right? I don't stand on constructs to confirm my identity. I don't need you guys to pat me in the back to tell me that I exist. Right? This is the problem with reality here, is that these scientists, science is a religion. Okay? It's faith-based science. They've substituted faith in a God you can't see with science you can't relate to. That can't be proven. Mathematical, theoretical bullshit. Okay? Tesla, you know, they don't like to talk about Tesla. How many times have you said it? Bullshit. Okay? You have to be a fucking idiot to look at the math model they gave you, the curvature of the earth, and the spin, the rotation, and then go outside with your fucking eyes and still believe this bullshit. You're an idiot. Okay? You're an idiot. Now, I'm not going to say the earth's a pizza. I don't care what you want to believe, but I can tell you it's not that. I can tell you we're not living in a fucking vacuum with a spinning rock with water that doesn't fly off of it. Alright? Like, no. I'm not going to get into crazy the Bernoulli effect and all this fucking like shit I learned in acoustic physics classes, but the point is, you guys can't even stop and comprehend basic bullshit. Alright? The idea that, like, now we can talk about it, now we're allowed to talk about it, masks don't work. Okay, guys? In fact, masks hurt you. You're not supposed to be breathing in your own fucking aspirations like all day long. All right. And on top of it, if you happen to come in contact with anybody who has anything, and you're wearing that mask, what do you need to do, guys? You need to throw it away, or at least disinfect it. But no, you'll wear the same dirty ass mask for months. Okay? And then they'll talk to me, why aren't you not wearing a mask? Why aren't you not wearing our gang sign? Okay? We're dealing with fucking idiots everywhere. Okay? Most of you people are fucking stupid, and if you realize how stupid you were, maybe we'd have a chance. Okay? Maybe we'd have a chance. And the smart ones of you, you're too scared to think for yourself. And that's it. You're too scared. I don't blame you. Like, you know, you guys seen what people try to do to me for, you know, just telling the truth and helping people. All right? And some of you who follow me, or who actually know me and follow me around all the different platforms, all my other names and all the things I've done, you've seen it, you know? And you've seen what they've done to all the prophets. Okay? Everyone who's ever been a prophet or a messenger of any kind, they get shitted on. So I don't blame you for being scared. But you know what? You're fucked anyway, guys. You are fucked. If you don't, like, get your head out of the fucking stand, like a little ostrich, and say, shit's coming. I gotta be proactive, you know? And again, I'm always gonna say this over and over again. I am not for protesting. I am not for violence unless it is no choice. You wanna come here and you wanna protest, why don't you start burning shit down at, like, my hood? I'm gonna pop you in the fucking head. I don't give a fuck. You come fuck with my house? You know, as long as you don't come to my house, you know I'm breaking my shit, you can protest all you want, bro. I don't give a fuck. But I think protesting is stupid. You need to actually start taking actions, okay? Learning how to rebuild communities and start paying attention to the natural world and what is reality. Because the Western world is everything that's anti-nature, anti-natural, anti-family, anti-good. And, you know, even though I'm not a fan of any political party, when you look at etymology and ciphering words, you look at Democrats, right? Republicans. What does the prefix DE do? What does the prefix RE do? Right? Destroy. Demolish. Right? No, you have reiterate, redo. Right? It tells you, they're telling you to your face, because these occult magicians here, right? They have to tell you, even if you don't understand it, they're telling you to your face. It's all in the open once you learn how to read it. But it's so bizarre and so crazy that you might not want to. Okay? And the people who are involved don't understand it either. Not everybody's part of the conspiracy, bro. It doesn't take a lot of people. Alright? It doesn't take a lot of people to affect a large group. Alright? You know, you could take one guy who throws a firecracker in the crowd and start a riot. Okay? It doesn't take a lot to create motion in groups of people. Okay? Look how many, listen, like, people talk shit, you council, like, the effect I've had on the Tai Chi community in the last 10 years, right? With my 100,000 views, it is what it is. So, on that note, I hope I made the points. You know, I hope you guys start to go outside, touch some grass, pay attention to the animals, all right? Listen to the animals, they talk to you, okay? I mean, start, you know, being self-aware. Don't be, you know, be courageous, stay vigilant, you know, to human time, say I love you, grateful for your presence, practice your gratitude, okay? I'm gonna see you guys soon. And, yeah, so, whatever the weirdo stuff's going to be, 4 days it's going to start, you know, between 4 and 5 days. Expect the weirdo stuff to start. Not sure exactly how it's going to go down, but it'll be fun. Love you guys.